The Galactic Council chamber fell silent when the designation appeared on the central holographic display, a pale blue sphere, third from a yellow star, spinning in undisturbed ignorance at the edge of the Orion Arm. Earth. Sector 7G, classification, pre-contact primitive. Threat level, 0. High Chancellor Zareth leaned back in his elevated throne, his four iridescent eyes scanning the room with the calm satisfaction of a predator who has already won. His species, the Virati, had presided over the Galactic Council for 600 years. In that time, they had absorbed 43 civilizations. Some surrendered. Some resisted. None survived with their sovereignty intact. The vote is unanimous, Zareth announced, his voice a low harmonic resonance that vibrated the crystalline walls. Earth shall be designated as Acquisition Target 44. Begin the suppression fleet deployment. Standard protocol. Around the chamber, 17 alien species nodded, clicked, hummed, or shifted in agreement. The humans had no representative here. They hadn't even been invited to apply for membership. They were, by every galactic metric, irrelevant. Ambassador Lythene of the Kalari quietly tapped her biocom under the desk. Her tentacles trembled, but not from cold. She had been to Earth once, a covert cultural observation mission, 40 years ago by human reckoning. She had watched them. She had never spoken of what she saw. 22 light-years away, on the bridge of the UESS Sovereign Fist, Admiral Darian Voss was eating a sandwich. This was not unusual. What was unusual was that he was eating it while reviewing intercepts from 17 different alien communication frequencies, cross-referencing them with a predictive military AI, and simultaneously briefing 6 department heads on fleet deployment patterns, all without looking up from his lunch. Admiral. His comms officer, Lieutenant Chen, turned with wide eyes. We're getting it. The council vote. It just cleared through the quantum relay. Voss took one more bite. Chewed slowly. Swallowed. Pull it up. The holographic display bloomed with alien script. The translation suite rendered it in English within 4 seconds. Earth Acquisition Target 44. Suppression Fleet authorized. Estimated arrival, 11 galactic cycles. 11 galactic cycles. Roughly 18 Earth months. The bridge was silent. Someone at the back dropped a stylus. Voss set down his sandwich, wiped his hands on a napkin, and folded his hands on the desk. Ladies and gentlemen, he said evenly, they just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. He stood up. General Quarters. I want every fleet commander on a secure channel in 10 minutes. And someone get me Ambassador Lythene's private frequency, I know she voted against this. What the Galactic Council did not know, what no species in the known galaxy had bothered to learn, was that humanity had been listening for a long time. For over a century, Earth's deep space monitoring networks had been quietly intercepting galactic transmissions. Not because humanity had cracked alien encryption. They hadn't needed to. They had done something far more human. They had been patient and obsessive and had thrown 17,000 researchers at the problem across 4 generations, passing down the work like sacred inheritance. They had also done something no alien species thought to do. They had prepared for the worst. Not because they knew an attack was coming, but because humanity had read its own history. Had studied every empire that fell, every civilization that crumbled because it assumed it was safe. They had learned, in their blood and fire, that the universe did not care about your feelings of security. So while the Galactic Council was designating Earth as a zero-threat primitive world, humanity had quietly spent 80 years building a defense infrastructure that their intercepted alien intelligence suggested no species in the current galactic era had ever attempted. The Virati suppression fleet was designed to overwhelm planets that had iron and fire. It was not designed for what was waiting for it. The message arrived at the Galactic Council chambers on the 3rd day after the vote. It came through official diplomatic channels, channels that Earth technically shouldn't have had access to, encoded in perfect galactic standard, authenticated with a cryptographic signature that the Council's AI spent 40 minutes verifying because it couldn't believe what it was seeing. High Chancellor Zareth read it twice. Then he read it a third time. Then he called an emergency session. The chamber had never seen panic before. Not real panic. The Virati didn't panic. The Shinori hadn't panicked in recorded history. The Kalari were biologically incapable of it. But as Zareth projected the human message onto the central display, something very close to panic moved through 17 species like a cold wave. The message was from Admiral Darian Voss, commander of the United Earth Sovereign Fleet. It read, "To the Galactic Council and High Chancellor Zareth specifically. We received your designation. We want you to know we're not angry. We understand, from the outside, we must look like easy prey. A young species, one planet, no galactic standing. We get it. But before you send your fleet, we wanted to extend a professional courtesy that we felt you deserved. Attached to this message, you will find the complete technical specifications of the UESS defensive grid, all 17 layers. You'll find documentation of our current fleet strength, weapons classifications, and strategic doctrine. We've also included the results of our wargame simulations against your known fleet configurations, run over a period of 40 years. We are not sending this to threaten you. We are sending it because we believe in informed decision-making. The simulation results are in Section 7. We've highlighted the projected outcome in red for easy reading. If, after reviewing this information, the Council wishes to proceed with acquisition protocol, we will be ready. If, alternatively, the Council would like to open diplomatic dialogue as equals, Admiral Voss is available Thursday. Respectfully, Admiral Darian Voss, Commander, United Earth Sovereign Fleet. Earth, Sol System. PSS Ambassador Lythine, we saved you a seat at the table. We've always admired the Kalari. The chamber erupted. Zareth sat frozen as 3 council members simultaneously tried to speak, 4 others were pulling up the attached files, and the Shinori delegate, a species that communicated via bioluminescent pulses, was flickering so rapidly that it appeared to be malfunctioning. Section 7 had been opened by 12 analysts within minutes. The projected outcome was indeed highlighted in red. It was not highlighted in red for the humans. "This is impossible," said the Dreth military attaché, his mandibles clicking rapidly. "A pre-contact species cannot have achieved this level of..." "They are not pre-contact," Ambassador Lythine said quietly from her seat. Everyone turned to look at her. "They were uncontacted," she said. "There is a difference. We chose not to contact them. They noticed us anyway." She paused. "I went to Earth 40 years ago. I watched them for 6 months. I filed a report that was classified and buried by the previous chancellor." She looked directly at Zareth. "I recommended immediate diplomatic engagement. I said they were the most dangerously curious species I had ever encountered. I said they turned every disadvantage into a research project." She folded her tentacles. "I see they've been busy." Admiral Darian Voss was eating another sandwich when the response came. "Sir." Lieutenant Chen was trying to keep her voice professional and failing slightly. "High Chancellor Zareth is requesting a direct communication channel. He says..." She paused. "He says at your earliest convenience." Voss smiled. It was a small smile. The kind that didn't show teeth, but somehow felt more dangerous than one that did. "Tell him Thursday still works." He took another bite. Outside the viewport, the stars burned cold and ancient and indifferent, the same stars that 1,000 alien civilizations had looked at and seen territory to conquer, resources to harvest, power to accumulate. Humanity had looked at those same stars and seen something different. A problem to solve. A puzzle to crack. A universe that hadn't met them yet. It was about to. 3 weeks later, Earth became the 44th member of the Galactic Council, the first species in history to join not through conquest, absorption, or petition, but through a single message that made an entire galaxy reconsider its assumptions. High Chancellor Zareth later admitted, in his private memoirs, that the most frightening part was not the fleet specifications. It was the postscript. A species capable of thinking about the feelings of a single alien ambassador, in the middle of receiving a declaration of war, was a species that understood something the Verati never had. People remember how you made them feel. And humanity, it turned out, had been paying attention to everything.